Her question is, why are we told that the major reasons for different schools of thoughts or fiqh is that the information that was available to one imam was not available to another, and if that is the case, why don't the scholars today hold a congress and synchronize all of the correct evidences and create one madhab? Very interesting suggestion and very valid question. But before that, I would like to discuss with you the reasons behind the different opinions of fiqh and the different schools of thoughts when it comes to the fiqh point of view. And by the way, it's not only limited to the four major famous schools of thoughts, Al-Imam Abu Hanifa, wa Shafi'i, wa Malik, wa Ahmad ibn Hanbal. No, it is beyond that, but these are the most famous schools of fiqh, of course. The differences due to the text which is provided could happen simply because of the following reasons. Maybe one of the scholars or the founders of schools of fiqh or even one of the companions have heard or have available a reference which he knows that it is evident, it is sound and profound, and others did not have it. It happens. Imagine that the Prophet ﷺ during the farewell speech was given khutbatul wada', and there was 120,000 audience or pilgrims, and even more, maybe 124 or so. Some were very close to the Prophet ﷺ and observed every action and every nusuk he did, and some heard it from others, and some did not get to hear at all. And that's why An-Nasa'i narrated in his Sunan an incident when Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, this is a companion who so attached to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Al-Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah relied on his view in most of his views and so on. So he used to carry his shoes, his miswak, and he would go with him everywhere. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud was a man of knowledge. There was a mas'ala after the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A woman who got married, but before consummating the marriage, the husband died. And meanwhile, they did not have agree to a fard, which is to the dowry, like how much is it? So what would she get from this man? There is no dowry, the dowry was not appointed, and they died before consummating the marriage. So what would she get after this guy passed away? He made ijtihad, and he said she gets a dowry similar to a woman in her condition, her cousin, or a woman of her age, beauty, and position. When she got married recently, how much dowry did she collect? A man similar to him, when he got married, how much dowry did he pay? So she will be given a similar dowry. Not only that, he says she must observe the iddah, 4 months and 10 days. Number 3, she will have a share in the inheritance, which is if he did not have any other heirs, or he has, it will be determined according to her position in amongst the heirs. Okay, so she will have a share in the inheritance. She would have to observe the iddah, and also she will get from his inheritance, before the inheritance will be divided, a dowry similar to the dowry of any woman in her age, condition, beauty, and so on. So he made this ijtihad. When he did so, a companion by the name Ma'qil ibn Yasar, may Allah be pleased with him, got up and said, I bear witness that I have seen the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam judging a similar case with the same ruling. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud was so delighted, and nothing made him happier than this news, that his judgment coincided the ruling of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the catch in this story, that Abdullah ibn Mas'ud never heard about the Prophet's ruling in a similar case. Why? Because he was not there 24/7. He was there most of the time, but maybe during this time he was not there. So those who did not attend the incident and made ijtihad different, this is one of the reasons. al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiyallahu anha said, whoever says that the Prophet have ever urinated while standing is a liar. While another companion, Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman, said, yes, we were once out and the Prophet ﷺ went and he urinated while standing. So was Hudayfa lying? No. Can any person say that whoever says the Prophet have done this while standing is a liar? In fact, she judged according to what she have seen at home and whenever she was with him, but she was not with him whenever he travels, whenever he's abroad. So a person who has seen a similar incident we would rely on his statement, but the fuqaha would compromise and would say that the person would do this with conditions, make sure that his clothes will not be soiled with urine. So the fuqaha will make ijtihad, they will exert the effort in order to come up with the proper answer with the ruling. That's why they differ. There is, for instance, an incident where some of the fuqaha received the same hadith where others have received it. But when he investigated the chain of the narrators and the authenticity of the hadith, he, according to his judgment, the hadith is weak, while others have found the hadith is highly profound. So that may lead to two different opinions. For instance, the hadith which says, لا نكاح إلا بولي وشاهدي عدل. There is no valid marriage, or the marriage will not be valid unless the wali, the guardian, approves it and it is witnessed by at least two just witnesses. شاهدي عدل. Al-Imam Abu Hanifa in his madhab, he considered this hadith ضعيف, weak, and that's why he said the wali is not really a wajib. A woman may give herself in marriage if she's an adult. Al-Jumhur are of the view that any marriage, whether a woman is bikr or thayyib, first time to get married or previously married before, she cannot give herself in marriage without consent of her wali. And if she does, then the marriage will be invalid. And this is the right view because of this hadith and other hadith. So basically, Al-Imam Abu Hanifa, if he were to know that this hadith is a sound hadith, not as he thought that it's a weak hadith, he would have adopted the same view. So what happened is, there are many reasons. These are some of the reasons. For instance, differences because of understanding the nusus. Because of understanding the nusus. There are some words in the Quran which are ambiguous or may carry two meanings, and the two meanings are opposite to each other. The typical example to that is the word qur'. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتُ يَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ ثَلَاثَةَ قُرُوء. That the divorced women should wait, the iddah period for them is 3 quru, plural of qur'. Al-qur' in Arabic is al-tuhr, and it is also al-hayd. So the word qur' refers to the menses, and it also refers to the purity that follows the menses. So there are two different views. Is it 3 periods, or is it 3 tahara that follows the period which will prolong the iddah for a few more days? Okay, because of that, there is a difference of opinion. There are things which cannot be sorted out, so there will be always 2 opinions, or maybe more than one. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, during his life, when he returned from the battle of Al-Khandaq, he said, من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فلا يصلين العصر إلا في بني قريظة. Jibreel alayhi salam said, you gotta go and take care of these guys. It's a Jewish tribe who are assisting the Meccan pagans against you in their campaign against you. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam encouraged his companions not to delay by saying, whoever believes in Allah and in the last day should not pray Asr but in Bani Qurayza's neighborhood. While the companions were on the way, some took the command literal. And he said, don't you pray Asr but there, when you reach there. So it was approaching sunset. We're going to miss the Asr because once the sun sets, the time for Asr is out. and now it is the time for Maghrib. Some companions said, well, the Prophet ﷺ did not mean that literally, rather he meant to encourage us to rush to go there. So whenever they feared that the Asr time will be out, they prayed Asr before sunset. When they reached there and the Prophet ﷺ heard the story of both, he did not object to this nor to that, which is an indication that even at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, that the companions have sometimes different understanding to the same text. Sometimes in the Quranic ayat, there are different dialects. So if somebody read the ayah with this dialect, he would judge the case according to his recitation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق وامسحوا برؤوسكم وأرجلكم إلى الكعبين. This is a dialect which is very famous. We all recite it this way. امسحوا برؤوسكم وأرجلكم, with the fath or zabar over the lam. Some people in an odd recitation, they recite it وأرجلكم. That will determine whether the feet should be washed or mere wiped over, similar to wiping over the head. So these differences are there. The scholars and what you're talking about, the Congress, to synchronize all these opinions and to come up with the most sound one, they do that all the time. And that's why in this program, for instance, we say this is what Imam Abu Hanifa said in this regard, and what other Imams said, and we believe the more right view in the light of the sound hadith or reference is this. So their views and opinions will be always there as references. But a true believer, upon knowing what is the more right view, he should follow it without hesitation.